Morning all. By way of introduction, just give you an insight into Viadex and the makeup of our business. We are a privately owned organisation with £50 million revenue, 75 people scattered around the world. And I suppose all of you are in the position of looking at, how differentiation, how do you create something that you believe is going to take into the next generation of IT. And for us, we've looked at ourselves, we've looked at what it is we want to be famous for. And I think this is the bit that for us as an organisation, we've looked at the partner ecosystem, we've looked at the vendors that are out there, and we certainly need to be backing the right organisation. So for us as a business, we looked at ourselves, and the thing we want to do is we want to simplify the complexity associated with global IT. So that's our sweet spot. That's what we do as a business. To do that, we've got obviously the locations scattered around the world. We've got oodles of experience. But really where our organisation is built is around, of course, there's technology partners out there. Of course, there's people that can deliver out to a global community. But have they got the commercial sense? Have they got the operational skills to be able to do that? So for us, this is where my role is evaluating all of the vendors, all of the suppliers that are in the chain, and certainly pulling this together to give the customers what they need. So across the technical, the commercial and operational areas, there are lots of partners that can do technology, but really our strength is being able to pull that across the rest of this and deliver it out into a global community. So our business, these are the objectives. Everyone will have their own objectives. The key two for us are client acquisition and the ability to expand our services portfolio. So services portfolio is clearly annuity, which is obviously the attraction of long-term business. But we're following an account-based marketing approach, which gives us the ability to stay relevant. And I'm sure throughout the day, we've looked at how do we stay relevant. And the account-based marketing approach really is our ability to fish with a spear gun rather than a net. So the client acquisition is, let's call it the easy bit. It's how do we create that services mix that's applicable? And really, I suppose, having looked at the providers out there, there's different ways to success. There's the ones where you just follow the norm. Or do you follow and back the right horses that you believe are going to get you there? And for us, we've employed a Fujitsu first mentality, and this is across the business. This isn't just the sales guys out and flogging kit and selling some sort of support service on top of it. What we've done is we've spent the last 2 years working with Fujitsu and really looking at their technology stack and making sure that everyone throughout the business, across marketing, across sales, technical, are really part of the journey. And this has really given us the chance to go out and differentiate ourselves. And as part of that, we're disrupting. So we're taking out the message, we're looking at capacity on demand, we're looking at consumption on demand, and really disrupting certainly what other vendors and other service providers are delivering. The most important part and where we see this is how the account-based marketing approach is helping, but know your customers to get sticky. And this is where we're then working with Fujitsu to be able to apply their technology to allow us to get them to the next step. So why Fujitsu and certainly why Viadex? Don't follow the rest. We've been involved as we've seen the multitude of vendors consolidate. We've seen the direct, indirect. We've seen the usual churn of salespeople, typically going in a certain direction in terms of vendor land. And for us, what we tried to do is differentiate by utilizing a technology company, which is Fujitsu. So what we need to do is help Fujitsu land and expand into new territories. And because they're a technology company, they've certainly got all the capabilities, but one of the things that they struggle with is that ability to go out and penetrate into the marketplace. And we've backed them, we've taken this out, and we've certainly had the penetration that allows us to differentiate ourselves to some of the other providers out there. So Fujitsu have significantly invested in the partner ecosystem, so we have capability on demand, i.e. in terms of their service capability as well as their enablement. So we're now certified and one of the most certified or competent partners in the UK and the rest of Europe, which allows us to go out and build our services capability across the board. So one of the other challenges we have as a business is the fact of what's called global. So if anyone has got experience of delivering projects globally, one of the problems you get is the vendors back it, and as soon as you go and look at deploying into outlying regions, you find that the support is not as well supported as it is maybe out the UK. And this we found is we call that local. So it's a global mentality with local challenges. And what with Fujitsu we've got is this ability to deliver end-to-end across any corner of the world with their level of support. So again, for us, what it is that we want to be famous for, delivering out global solutions across the stack, we have 100% backed the Fujitsu brand. So for us, this is certainly something we wanted to shout about. And the other point, which is probably these days not necessarily well respected, is they're easy to do business with. So it's just nice to deal with people who are interested in what your business plans are and then back you. So I want to talk about a customer scenario, which certainly gives an example of exactly how this would work. So we've dealt with organizations for over 20 years, and we've got certain customers that have bought the same thing. They bought the same technology. They dealt with directly by vendors. And what they were tired of is getting pitched to by certain vendors all the time. So they asked us to provide the valuation services and look at the validation of how this solves their business challenge. So they asked us to deal with that. And what that allowed us to do is introduce the Fujitsu brand. So what they're also interested in is the innovation. Where are the vendors going? Who's going to give us a 3 or 5 year roadmap? And who's going to underpin that with clearly the NDAs and everything associated to that? But who's going to show us this? And what we found with Fujitsu is they have an annual summit called Forum, and you get to meet some of the engineering, some of the development staff that are actually making the product. And instead of getting sold to by a specific vendor marketing analyst at some of these global summits, you're actually talking to some of the guys that are really interested in what you're doing as a business. And this, for this particular client, was probably the deal clincher in terms of how are they going to be able to look at the future of how they're delivering IT to their organization. The partnership approach, again, the most important thing is the customer gets looked after, the partner gets looked after, and clearly the vendor's involvement in delivering that is a three-way relationship. So for us, that meant a lot, and it gave us the ability to feel the comfort that we've got the support for what it is we need, but also most importantly for the customer. And clearly it needs to be commercially sensible. So commercially sensible, but with a long-term view of exactly what that means for the customer. So for us, we were very proud to receive an award, which is the first time a UK partner has received the EMEA Rising Star. And we went to Forum last year and received the award, and really showcasing our ability to deliver something and disrupt into the global community. So for us, we felt very proud with this award. And I'm going to bring you back to time. I thought I'd deliver this in a 15-minute slot in 10 minutes because I believe that the attention span for most people is roughly 7 to 10 minutes. I thought I'd bring you back on track. So as long as that made sense, I haven't seen anyone fall asleep yet. But if there is anyone that would like to fall asleep, you can go outside and do that. Any questions? Coffee's outside. Yes, great. Okay, well, thank you very much.